all about social media, digital marketing, entrepreneurship, and interviews with top entrepreneurs in the digital and social space. I'm your host, Jean Ginsburg, digital marketing expert, #1 best-selling author, and award-winning entrepreneur. I will be sharing with you strategies, tips, and tactics on how to grow your business and your social media following. Thanks for listening. Hey everyone, Jean Ginsburg here. Welcome to another excellent episode of Listen by Jean Ginsburg. And today, very special guest, John Voung. How are you?
I'm doing great. Thank you for having me, Jean.
Yes, thank you so much for being here. I love the fact that you have so many books behind you. I recognize a lot of them.
I'm an avid reader, so I love ingesting content and really just learning, growing.
Yeah, I am actually rereading Traction again. I think for like the third time, at least for sure the second time, maybe the third time. I love the book Lifespan. I read that recently, or I listen to books. I don't really actually read books anymore, but I loved Lifespan. Lots of interesting stuff there, kind of that talks about maybe we'll be living longer beyond just the 80, 90 years that we typically have been. So I love that content. Awesome. Well, before we jump into the meat of it, I always like to ask our podcast guests, tell us about your background, just to give our audiences some context.
Yeah, definitely. My name is John Voung. I started a digital agency that focuses on search engine optimization. And we're a boutique agency that's full service, and we only specialize in SEO. We've been doing it for 8 years, since 2013. Prior to that, I actually was in advertising sales for 10 years. And that's how I started my career. So 8 years digital advertising, 10 years advertising sales. And I still love the entire channel, the marketing space, the sales space, and I enjoy challenges. So I love growing, and this is where I'm at right now.
Awesome. That's fantastic. So tell us about the company, SEO, any specific types of verticals you work with, or any specializations that you have within SEO?
Yeah, so the company name is called Local SEO Search. The reason I called it and named it that was while working at Yellow Pages, I was there for 5 years in sales. I dealt with a lot of small, medium-sized business owners, and that gave me a real, understanding of what it takes to really be good in terms of value prop, unique selling proposition, understanding like what foundations that you were required to run a successful business, and understanding what really mattered to them in terms of the lifestyle. They really wanted to serve a purpose. They wanted to build a community. They wanted to bring some appreciation to what they're bringing to the table and become experts in their own mind. And I wanted to support them. And that's the reason I got into the space, not knowing anything about SEO. So I really focus on the small, medium-sized business owners, professional services, trades, B2B businesses, but more service-driven, not specific industry, but people that want to be served and working with more of a family type environment, because that's what my focus is here, running this agency.
Awesome. Yeah, I love that. Of course, SEO is a big part of getting noticed and awareness on online. So one of the questions I like to ask the guests is, since a lot of the listeners are early stage entrepreneurs or wanting to start a business, so if you can provide just like one piece of advice that's related to SEO for someone who would like to see some results, as soon as possible, some actionable items that they can do in their business today that will actually make an impact, what would be something that you would, what kind of piece of advice would you provide?
Yeah, so with SEO, there's a lot of components. There's over 200 signals. So really start off with the foundation of building a website. But most importantly, understanding your customers. And so that's the most important thing. A lot of people who get into business don't even know who they want to serve, who their clients are. So creating content to speak directly to the customers that are actively going to pay for your services is the utmost important thing. And therefore translate and answer every single problem and question that they would have to get them closer to wanting to do business with you. So that's what I would advise people to do who are starting a business. Become an expert, like get to know your customers, get to know who your ideal customers are, and ask them every single question throughout that entire buyer journey to then answer them all and position yourself like a thought leader, someone that knows what they're talking about, and be genuine, be authentic, be yourself, right? As opposed to always selling.
Right.
And people can tell the difference when you're actually pitching and selling versus more of an inbound lead magnet. And that's what we do in positioning ourselves as experts in SEO.
Right. Yeah, that's so absolutely true. Like we're a digital marketing agency too, and of course, one of the things that we see all the time is that a lot of clients don't even understand who they're trying to sell to. Like that's it's such a critical component of, like, you can't really market unless you know who you're marketing to and what you're trying to say to them and what the marketing message is. So that I can absolutely agree with, because that's a challenge that I come up with all the time as part of our agency as well. So very key point, understand your target market before you start marketing or doing SEO or anything, because otherwise it's just going to fall on deaf ears. So I absolutely agree with that. So you've had your agency for a while. So what's been have you experienced a challenge, or have your clients experienced challenges in the past year during COVID, or how has the industry changed for you?
So I'm very fortunate. A lot of people who have been clients of ours, they acknowledge the importance of search engine optimization for their business, because now everything's digitalized and we're more of an extension to their existing business. So it's more of a part of their, business, I would say, that they don't want to let go. We're not like a variable cost. We're more a fixed cost.
Right.
And we are a necessity for a lot of these business owners. So I'm very fortunate in that sense. So we haven't lost a lot of clients. We did lose some industry clients that were in the travel and hospitality, because they were hardest hit. And I get it. Like, when things are shut down, nothing's open. Well, there's not, even if there's demand and people want to consume, they're not allowed to. So you have to have very good perspective and be understanding in terms of their situation as well. So I'm very fortunate we picked up clients, and we haven't lost a lot of clients. So I'm just very fortunate to be in a really good space, in industry that is in demand, even though it's been a rough situation for a lot of business owners.
This podcast is brought to you by the Digital Marketing Method monthly group coaching program, your methodology for growing your business and your social media following. Join me and my group of supportive entrepreneurs and learn how you can grow your business and your social media following, where we cover topics such as Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, email marketing, and so much more. Go to dmgroup.online, dmgroup.online. Yeah, absolutely. That's, again, same thing we're kind of experiencing on our end, because we do digital marketing. We fortunately have seen an uptick in our business and have seen really good growth in our business too. But I mean, I know that there's a lot of industries out there who have not had that kind of experience, but because everything is moving to the digital space, it seems that places like Amazon or anybody involved in the digital space seem to be doing well. So I guess there's that change that we're seeing. Some maybe not so much, and some are doing well. So that's good to hear. I'm glad to hear things are good on your end. So another question that I like to ask our guests is, you're someone who has owned a business for a long time. What is one tool that you use that's critical in your business?
So we use a lot of SEO tools. We use SEMrush, Ahrefs, Moz, keywordtool.io. We use Asana. Our stack is huge. Like, we have 20 plus tools that we constantly, use and check and make sure that it's always at the top of the list. So Asana for operations, like just task management, but SEO tools, which is great for our, purpose. So, and of course, all the Google Drives and collaboration, like everything is really for the team, right? Because everyone's home based, and we need to ensure that it's very sticky and collaborative. So for our agency, that's what's important. And it all depends on your business, right? You need to understand what's required and needed to be optimal, be productive, be efficient. And if you're able to save time and become more productive, that's ultimately what you're looking for any of the tools out there.
Yeah, absolutely. It's just depends on what your team needs, right? But having all of these collaborative tools have been so critical for our business, and I'm sure now that a lot of people are working from home, so critical for collaborating and continuing to have conversations and communicating during a time when we can't all physically communicate with each other, right? So yeah, Asana is I definitely have heard of that one. We don't use it in our business. We use Trello as the project management tool, but absolutely, a project management tool is very important if you're running a business because before a project management tool, it was very it was very cumbersome to run a business. So for anybody who's listening, make sure you're using a project management tool, even if it's just you. It's so much easier to just to make sure that you're on top of projects and nothing's slipping through the cracks. That's the one thing that just happened before. It was just like things were slipping through the cracks and we weren't addressing everything because we didn't have a project management tool. So I love that, and Asana is a great one. Um, awesome. And then one of the other questions I like to ask our guests is, what is your prediction for the industry? And that could be specifically for your industry or specific verticals, or it could be anything from terraforming Mars to self-driving cars or AI or whatever's top of mind for you.
Yeah, so for the SEO industry, I feel it's a requirement for a lot of business owners. They just have to be informed. They have to be educated. The challenge is there's so much noise, and everyone's claiming to want to, fast track, speed up. They're always looking for the quickest fit, cheapest, fastest solution, right? To get them growth and scale and at a 10x, right? But in reality, I always look at foundational businesses that I've worked with at Yellow Pages. These were multi-generational, not even 5-10 years, like 20-50 years, right? What really mattered to them and how did they sustain themselves for so long? Well, the core foundation of it all is taking care of the customers, listening, addressing their concerns, really adding value. It's never just price. It's maybe quality, it's service. There's so many other variables. So with SEO, I feel like we're just touching the surface because not a lot of people understand it. And there's a lot of paid ads. They feel Facebook, Instagram, Twitter is SEO, but it's completely different, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's just a uneducated, like a lot of people aren't informed of what it really means. So I'm on a mission to really just educate people and get business owners to acknowledge the power that you can have when you're more visible and prominent, as opposed to just paying for ads to be there right away. If you earn yourself, become a thought leader, an expert in the industry, you get way more inbound quality leads that are ready to buy, right? And that's ultimately what every business owner should really strive for.
Mm-hmm. Yes, that's very true. There is a lot of, I think, misinformation about SEO and just digital marketing in general and the components of digital marketing, just because there's so many people trying to sell it. And so there's just a lot of misinformation. So how are you educating people about SEO? Like,
Yes.
are you creating content? Do you have books?
Yeah, so I'm working on a book. I go and speak a lot before this pandemic. I do a lot of this podcasting to amplify my message. It's just building more of a thought leader. I'm thinking of creating more of a community as well. Just getting out there and just informing, educating business owners that don't really know what this whole digital marketing space is all about. Because maybe they're traditional marketing experts, right? Flyers, newspaper, trade show, radio, television. They don't know podcasting. They don't know YouTube. They don't know social. They don't know how it works. Email marketing, the funnels, landing pages, paid ads. There's so many components that is a new verbiage language for a lot of these people. And then understanding like a website and how many pillars and layers needs to be incorporated to get even ranked, let alone creating good, compelling content with links. What does links really do for them, right? Like there's so much insight and information that it's overwhelming for business owners. And therefore, I'm just trying to educate them on a top level so that they feel comfortable to then venture in and maybe even inform themselves a little bit more, like dig a little bit deeper, take some courses, listen to some podcasts, watch some videos, read some blogs, to then ask the educated questions before getting duped by someone that just sells them on guarantees.
Mhm. I love that. Yes, we just more education is necessary out there for a lot of business owners. So I love what you're doing. When is your book going to be out?
So I worked on it for a year. It was the first draft. I wasn't happy, so I'm back to drawing board. It just takes time when
Yep.
you're running a business. Just like everything, it's commitment. I'm committed to trying to produce something of value so that my, readers will actually get some substance and take action. Right. So
Mhm.
I'm really looking at creating a community as well as a book to then amplify that part, so it's more educational. um, so it's just in the funnel.
I know I can relate because I wrote a book and published a book a couple of I don't know 4 years ago, and I actually was I'm in the process of creating a second edition because it was a book about digital marketing, and of course a lot has changed in the last 4 years when it comes to that. So I can understand that because I've been having trouble also fitting that into running my business and trying to create a second edition of the book. So I'm hoping to get that done over the summer so that I can release it, the second edition, in probably September, October timeframe when it's the 4 year anniversary. So awesome. Well, thanks so much. This has been such a great conversation. I love talking, of course, digital marketing and SEO, and that's of course a very necessary component of your business. So last question is, how can our audiences get in touch with you?
Yeah, so I'm located in Toronto, Canada, but we service clients all over the globe, like North America, UK, and Australia. You can check us out. It's www.localseosearch.ca. So it's CA for Canada. And we also have a podcast. We have been doing it for 3 years now. It's called Local SEO Today. And it's fun too, right? Like for me, it's meeting good business owners and thought leaders. And it's
Right.
just educating people
Right.
on the different topics, right? And just helping small business owners navigate the challenges. And if we can help one person, I think I've already made a difference in someone's life. So
Right.
it's the slow progress of just trying to get out there and being more of a thought leader, trying to make an impact to small business owners.
Right. I love that. Absolutely. Thanks so much, John. Great to have you on here. And I wish you with the best of luck on your books. I know that's going to be a process.
Yeah, definitely. Well, thanks a lot, Gene.
Thank you.
Have a great day.